well. So we're going to start with a little grounding, and it's going to go like this. Let's all close our eyes. And just take a few moments to land, each of us in our physical body. Just wherever we are sitting, laying down, however we are, getting really comfortable and landing here now. And let's take a moment to tune into our sense of hearing, just noticing all the sounds in the room or outside, near and far. Next, with our eyes closed, let's just tune into our sense of sight, feeling beneath our eyelids, seeing if it's dark or a little bit of color, relaxing our eyes. Now our sense of smell as we breathe gently through our nose. Next, our sense of taste as we notice our taste buds on our tongue, tasting our mouth. And then our sense of touch. So with our hands, we can touch our body. Also noticing all the skin on our entire body feels touched. So let's tune into all of our skin. We could feel the air on our face, for example, or clothing on our skin. Finally, let's scan our whole body. So we start from the top of our head and move down bit by bit, taking about a minute till we get to the soles of our feet. So we can just tune in inch by inch. As we pass each area, let's melt more inward. So we're grounding, really dropping in to our body. And as you're continuing to scan, tune into your breath, just gently, what it's doing. Now, staying with eyes closed, we're going to focus in on our first gamma breath together. So for this one, you could place your palms together. We're going to be using different hand mudras with different energy currents for a purpose. This one is to start us off getting left and right brain hemispheres coordinating, getting congruent in our body and balanced. And with each breath, you just want to feel like you're expanding the breath through your lungs, like you're creating space through your whole body, and that in fact, it's alchemy of breath that's happening throughout your whole body and consciousness, which is actually true. So this first basic gamma breath, like I just posted in the chat for you to save and work with as often as you like, we will be taking 3 seconds to fully inhale, 3 seconds to fully exhale. And again, very deep, spacious breaths. So you're going to hear me breathe kind of loud, and the idea is to really go for it. Okay, so here we go. In mouth, out mouth. In mouth, out nose. In nose, out nose. In nose, out mouth. And again, in mouth, out mouth. In mouth, out nose. In nose, out nose. In nose, out mouth. One more set. In mouth, out mouth. In mouth, out nose. In nose, out nose. In nose, out mouth. And in mouth, out mouth. Awesome. Now you can relax your hands and just drop in with eyes closed. Breathe easy for a few moments. Tune into any sensations. Awesome. So now you can stay with eyes closed still and just take a few moments to tune in and see what's most in the foreground of your consciousness. Like if there's anything that you're wanting to explore, if something's feeling emotional, if there's something really good that you're wanting to manifest, if just anything that's been happening nowadays that you would like to maybe shift a little bit or neutralize or evolve. Anything is gain when it comes to gamma, because basically we are reorganizing information in our brain and boosting the frequency of it to gamma, where then it's free energy available to mold into higher perspective, higher action. And it's a very powerful approach also for clearing issues and so on. So just take a few moments and just see basically kind of an intention for now on what you would like to be able to evolve and or boost. And now we're going to do another breath. If you'd like, you can open your eyes and I'll describe this one. When I say medium, it's 3 seconds to inhale, 3 seconds to exhale. When I say slow, it's 5 seconds all the way in, 5 seconds all the way out. Fast will be 1 second in, 1 second out. And I'll be guiding the sequence as we go. This breath is a gamma breath also, and it's designed to activate the context for our session, like whatever we're each individually wanting to evolve or manifest and create. And then we're going to be focusing on some more like collective communal topics throughout the session. So this first one, we just personally activate into the space, and we're going to use this mudra, which is the diamond mudra. So here we go. In mouth medium. In more. Little bit more. And hold. Now out mouth medium. In mouth, out nose slow. In nose, out nose medium. In nose, out mouth fast. In mouth, out mouth medium. In mouth medium. In more. Bit more. And hold. Now we do out nose, in mouth slow. Out nose, in nose medium. Out mouth, in nose fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In a little bit more. And a bit more. Bit more. And hold. Just feel this energy surge as you hold your breath for a few moments, activating your intention, personal one. And now out mouth. Awesome. So now tune into your hands. I bet you feel some tingling or energy in your hands. This is gamma. So now imagine you have a cup of gamma breath medicine. You're going to bring it to your lips to drink with an inhale. And then on the exhale, just drop in and let go. With your eyes closed, relax your hands. Just tune in. Okay. So if anybody feels to describe what you're noticing or feeling so far from doing these breaths in the chat, you certainly can, or chances are the further we progress into these breath sequences, it's a pretty exponential boost in feeling very heightened, like on a shamanic journey or on maybe some kind of element, or even how it feels to be on the playa. So this is just the beginning of our journey. You might feel more internal and less wanting to share, or if you do feel like describing or have questions, by all means. So we have entered with a basic gamma breath. We've now activated some personal intentions, and now we're gonna connect in community with what the essence of Burning Man is, and just really bring this into our hearts and share it with each other. So let's each take a few moments to just personally tune in to what Burning Man means to us. And I know it could be just like millions of things, but just as we feel in this gamma space into our heart, and if you'd like, you could place your hands on your heart, just connect with the energy of Burning Man. It might be memories from being on the playa if you've been there. It might be the virtual, Topia, which sounds so cool. It might be a regional burn, or if you're new to Burning Man, just feeling into this quantum field that we're all putting forth right now in, just tapping into this consciousness. So feel that for a little bit. And imagine you're sharing into this as if we were all chatting about it, but for the interest of time and continuing to do the activation, we're just doing it kind of like through brain waves. So imagine that you're speaking into our group, some of it, like, I don't know, for example, as I was describing before, for me, flying on a plane and taking this picture over the playa was like mind-blowing, over joyful. or you could be just riding your bike towards the sunset and the mountains there, or meeting a friend who's a burner telling you about Burning Man, or any other, just everything's a sacred experience, right? Like the quote, good and the bad, or like just the personal experience that a burn is. So just feel whatever is most in the foreground right now, you want to access the energy from that. And that's what we're boosting into gamma. So as to potentiate even more the amazing consciousness of Burning Man, and also to integrate the experience into our own body and consciousness even more. So again, feeling that, let's all right now just send this Burning Man essence into our field, and we're going to amplify it with a different gamma breath. Ready? So Diamond Mudra again, and here we go. In mouth, medium. In more. And more. And out mouth, in mouth, medium. Out mouth, in nose, slow. Out nose, in nose, medium. Out mouth, in nose, fast. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. In more. And even more. Out nose, in mouth, slow. Out nose, in nose, medium. Out mouth, in nose, fast. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. In more. And even more. And even more. And hold your breath as long as you can, feeling the surge of energy everywhere. And out mouth. Beautiful. Now, this cup of gamma energy, bring it to drink. It even amplifies the energy further with an inhale, mouth. And out. You can just immerse in this Playa ocean of love, gamma, DMT, and light. So from this space, just tuning in, see what you're feeling. I get that we're all on video, and most everyone's videos are on off, but still, that's okay. We can all connect, just through our essence. We all have these extrasensory higher plane abilities, and that's part of what makes us all so special. So that said, let's take a few moments now and tune into the 10 principles of Burning Man. So I'm going to repost them because I understand that when somebody comes in after, some of the info on the chat doesn't show up. So sorry about that. Here, I'm going to paste that. Oh, I didn't mean to repost the gamma breath again. Wait a second. Let's see. Why? Okay. Second. I'm going to read them out loud for now, and I'm going to try to copy and paste them again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Somehow right now what's recopying is the breath, but I apologize for that. Let me read out loud the 10 principles. We've got radical inclusion, radical self-reliance, radical self-expression, decommodification, gifting, civic responsibility, communal effort, leave no trace, participation, and immediacy. So yeah, as we tune into all these principles, let's each see what it feels like to each of us when we tune into those principles. And also for those of us who've been on the playa, or who are, or those who are new even to Burning Man, just tune into what these might mean to you. But let's each feel into at least one of the principles and how we've really experienced it in a very powerful way, whether it's on the playa or just in everyday life, which is amazing too, because that is what's happening with the multiverse this year. It's just all over the world. And I know that that happens throughout the year as we gather with fellow burners and at events and regional burns in our everyday life, ideally. But right now, let's just focus into a highlight epiphany kind of experience with one of those principles, or maybe it's more. So each of us, let's close our eyes and feel into that. And even if you feel, just share in the chat what that experience was like for you, how it moved you, by all means. So many life-changing moments happen and I find personally, and just, I get emotional, just that I find that we can connect with our innocence and with our heart and our authentic self by being able to live inside of these principles and to connect with others from this really fresh, just from the heart, real space. And then what that can make possible, just to be able to also be received for being one's own self exactly as we are. And if we can apply these principles just to ourselves and to our loved ones and then our community and the world, I'm really very excited for what our burner community around the world is creating for the future of our new earth. So we're going to do another amplifying breath since we're in a gamma activation, and this one's centered around the principles and how they've been in our own experience. So before we do that breath, as we hold this mudra, let's just feel that from our third eye, from our consciousness, we are sharing into this field together, that vibration of our own personal experience, so that it can become exponentially integrated for all of us as we breathe. So feeling that. And now we're going to do the breath. So again, very big spacious breaths. With each sequence that we do, we are opening up deeper, deeper spaces and higher spaces. So let's do it. So in mouth, medium. In more. And even more. And hold. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. Out mouth, in nose, slow. Out nose, in nose, medium. Out nose, in mouth fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In more. And even more. And hold. Out nose, in mouth slow. Out nose, in nose medium. Out mouth, in nose fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In more. And even more. And more. And hold. Feeling this energy. Feeling the connection with the principles and who we all are as community. And out mouth. Then feeling this gamma energy in your hands, bring it to drink with an inhale. And then exhale. Surrender. Just drop into the Playa ocean for a little bit. So yes, just tune in and see how you're feeling. It's definitely a shift, right? In vibration and state change from when we started to where we are now. And I just want to thank Tepano for sharing the 10 principles on here, being that I kept pasting the same thing over and over with the breath. And also thank you, Randy, for sharing what you're saying is what is resonating for me is seeing each other's soul. A great gift you can give to someone is to see them. Ah, thank you. That's, yes, absolutely. So beautiful. So yes, this is what being in gamma feels like and how we can sense a release of DMT in our brain and through our body. And for those who've experienced something like, let's say, DMT, then doing these kinds of breaths may potentiate even further the integration of different shamanic medicines. So that's one use for this work. And at the Playa last year, we did some activations on that, which were super popular also. And then so Max is saying, speaking of oceans, am I the only one that owed a tiny bit on breathe in a little more? Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not sure what you meant. And then also about the throat singing, I wasn't sure what that meant. Oh, okay, you're so funny. I don't know, did anybody else pee a little bit? Anything can happen with these breaths because it really is about letting go of control and surrendering to the wisdom of higher self and the body and quantum consciousness. So whatever needs to happen happens. So yeah. So all right, then now we're going to continue. We're going to do another breath. So for this one, let's choose to do a little bit of processing. And that means that we can look at anything that may happen to us through being a burner that was a big learning experience. So this is positive, but at the same time, if there's any stored cellular memory of the experience or something that we want to evolve to even a higher perspective, this is a good opportunity by doing this next breath. So let's just each tune in and just see, well, what has been a learning lesson we may have experienced by being a burner, by joining the Burning Man community, going to Burning Man, or if this is new to you, just it can be just any personal life experience, that anything that you know can evolve further. So just tune into that. Could be, I don't know, let's say someone is a camp organizer and there's some things that they learned from how that all worked out last year, or something about radical self-reliance and showing up at the Playa and being a sparkle pony. I'm kidding. Or, but yeah, or what if safety third? Just any kind of things that have happened that have been some powerful lessons. Let's tune into those. All right, so now we're gonna breathe on that. And also just to say, like, some strong things happen. Loved ones die, we come and maybe a big breakup happens, or yes, electrolytes are your friends on the playa, that's for sure. All kinds of things. But then also there's all these where the playa provides and just exactly the right insight or learning or opportunity or support can show up, however that looks. We're going to do this breath now. For this one, we place our hands in a heart shape, and then we cross the fingertips just at the top so that we can put the pads of the fingers together, if you can see that, and then the thumbs just touch down. And then you can relax your elbows if you'd like, but the purpose of this is like a rewiring kind of, because it's the left and right brain hemispheres are represented in the hands. And then also, just, you know, brain waves. Why we're doing this drinking of the cup of energy is that we've got our beta brainwave, alpha, theta, delta, zeta brainwaves in our hands represented that are in our brain, our body. When we're doing gamma, we're gamifying all of these brainwaves. So we're boosting the frequency of all of them and creating a new sense of balance. And also, this is a kind of energy work through our hands. So we're using these mudras to powerfully reap better results even with the breath. All right, so now we're going to do this process breath to integrate those learning or challenges at Burning Man or with burning experiences. So here we go. In mouth, out mouth, medium. In mouth, out nose, slow. In nose, out nose, medium. In nose, out mouth, fast. In mouth, out mouth, medium. In mouth, medium. In more. And even more. Bit more. And hold. Out nose, in mouth, slow. Out nose, in nose, medium. Out mouth, in nose, fast. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. And out mouth, medium. Good. Now you can relax your hands and again drop in with eyes closed, letting the shifts and energies flow through. So from this space, let's stay with eyes closed for a few moments and taking this expanded, heightened state and feeling like we're placing ourselves right now on the playa. Again, for those of you new to it, feel like you're there. We're here now on the playa. And for each of us, let's just see whatever scene unfolds around us. Could be sunrise or sunset, could be a big party, could be whatever. It's infinite experiences. Every single person at the playa has like such a unique experience and such a infinite richness. So let's each picture ourselves on the playa here now and really immerse into the scene that we're in. So we want to feel it in our body, the people around, or the scenery, the colors, the depth, any sensations in our body, what we're wearing or not wearing, and what everything else is happening around us. All our senses, like really immersive, like right now. And as we're doing this, we're going to stay with eyes closed and have our hands in the diamond mudra. And we're going to breathe as though we are there, here, right? On the playa. Each of us in our environment that we're in, collectively. So let's breathe now and expand this energy. So in mouth medium. In more. Even more. And hold. Out mouth, in mouth medium. Out mouth, in nose slow. Out nose, in nose medium. Out nose, in mouth fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In more. Uneven more. Out nose, in mouth slow. Out nose, in nose medium. Out mouth, in nose fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In more. More. And more. And hold, expanding into gamma in the playa. Feeling this full spectrum richness. Now out mouth. And feeling this energy in our hands, bringing it to drink with an inhale. And on the exhale, just drop in even more on the playa, just completely immerse. Awesome. So when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes, and we're going to do a technique that's a gamma technique called magics. And instead of the breath, we're using our brain waves through our hands. So for this one, I'm sure everybody's feeling some tingling in your hands, right? Either way, uh, feel like you're creating a ball of energy in between your hands, just, or you're already noticing kind of like a field of energy, and kind of pump the energy in and out a little bit as you feel the energy in your hands get more tingly. And for this one, tune into the playa and the scene you were in, or maybe it's another scene that appears, or maybe it's the entire city of Black Rock and the whole nature surrounding it. It could be all of it. Just connect to how you're capturing that field in your hands. And then as though it's compressing, getting more and more concentrated as you bring your hands closer, closer to just dense, concentrated field of Black Rock City, of Burning Man in our hands together. All right, so now as you feel that, next thing is fold your fingers in this way: pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. Okay, now it's captured inside the palms of our hands. Next, you pump your fingers into your palms 5 times like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is boosting the gamma quotient for this many, many times over. Next, we open our fingers like this off of the thumbs. Index, middle, ring, and pinky, and thumb open. So now we're having this field in our hands, and we inhale. Now send the energy forward with the exhale through the playa. Feel like it's peeling off your fingers, this massive field that's now expanding all around us, all of us. Then you can relax with your eyes closed and feel that surge of gamma light and being on the playa. Now, immersing in this field, if anyone feels to share what that's like for you, because all these techniques are legit and they're pretty next level. Uh, you could mention what you're noticing or feeling if you'd like. And we're also going into our next layer. So for this one, it's all about our hearts. Pretty much the whole thing that we're doing here is, though specifically now, just feeling the space of love in our hearts. Let's each tune into what we have loved the most about being a burner, about Burning Man, that we are tuning into right here, right now. So just feeling in our hearts, what do we love the most? It could be everything, right? So we could just run through a list in our mind and feel that we're sharing that into our field here together. I mean, I'll share personally, to me, the moment I stepped on the playa, I knew I was home, and I was like, this is my tribe. I'm home. It's changed my life ever since. Thank you so much. Max is sharing infinite possibilities activated, radiating from shining faces into and then through each other. Ah, so beautiful. Absolutely. So yes, like whoever else feels to share, if you want to type, or anyway, we're all tapping in. This is what's so cool about this work. We're like so connected. So again, what we love the most. And now on top of that, we're going to add a layer from each of our own life. It could have to do directly with the playa, or another instance altogether of the most loving experience that we can imagine we've ever had. And ideally we've all had many, but trust whichever memory is coming to each of us right now. Like that's the one, the most heart melting, like love melting, kindred just experience that we can tune into. Let's each feel that in our hearts right now, that memory combined with what we love most about Burning Man, about being a burner, and just letting that cellular memory boost right now. So it's like we feel it now, even if it was then. That's what's so cool, is we're reactivating certain frequencies, certain states of being, and we're creating that we have that menu and can experience it more going forward. Awesome. So feeling this love vibration, let's mega galactivate that with this diamond mudra and the amplification gamma breath. So here we go. In mouth medium, in more, even more, and hold. Out mouth in mouth medium. Out mouth in nose slow. Out nose in nose medium. Out nose in mouth fast. Out mouth in mouth medium. In more, and even more. Out nose in mouth slow. Out nose in nose medium. Out mouth in nose fast. Out mouth in mouth medium. In more, even more, and more. Hold. Just feel this love expansion through the heart. And out mouth. Beautiful. Now, our hands are extensions of our hearts as well. So feeling all this love in our hands, like we're holding a tiny little bird or something, okay? Bringing it to drink with an inhale. And exhale. We have just made a communal Burning Man elixir toast. Yes. So now just immerse into this essence. As we're each immersing into our gamma, knowing that we're doing this together from our hearts, how nourishing this is, and that just know that by doing these breaths and energy techniques together, we are making this a part of us, a part of our heart, a part of who we are, part of our consciousness. So we're going to do a couple more breaths still, and then we'll leave let's say 10 minutes at the end. If anybody wants to share or chat, I can unpress the record, and then we can all, like if anybody wants to come on video, we can all chat a bit or share. So that'll be in just a little bit. But for now, if anyone has a special request, something you want to activate gamma for, you're welcome to type it in the chat. Or if you want it to be, let's say, anonymous in it, if you click on the chat where it says everyone, then you can click on my name to send the chat to just me, and I won't mention a name. I'll just share what the request is. I get then it won't be anonymous to me, but up to you. Or you can just energetically from your consciousness place it into our field together, because we will gamma process and activate it for everyone anyway. We all benefit anyway, and that's what's so beautiful about this community, right? Is the gifting, the receiving, and as Molly was also sharing here, like burning has ignited my hope for humanity. Absolutely, for me as well. Thank you for sharing that. So also Max is sharing a request, yeah. Self-care with self-validation, not waiting on external validation. Beautiful. So let's focus on that for this next one. So this is the way this works. We can each personally tune into an experience that we've had where we were able to give ourselves self-care and value that for ourselves, and to just, know that that's what we needed, and whatever we needed to do, we took action and created that for ourselves, and not waiting for it to come from the outside. So if we can each activate that, and then Max, also for you, tune into an experience where you did do that, because that's going to open up the pathway that we're going to amplify for more of that action. What we're also going to do inside of this is then process for the opposite, where it would be, seeking the external support or validation by amplifying the positive. It creates a conversion, a new wiring. Yes. So let's all each focus in on a moment where we took self-care for ourselves because we valued it and it was the right thing we knew for ourselves in the moment, and trust whatever memory comes up for any time in your life. So let's take each a moment and do that. And that could look a lot of different ways, like speaking our truth and expressing our needs, or taking time off of something, or saying no to something, or any pampering or nurturing, etc. Yeah, like I'll share personally, it's like to reel back in my energy to just like containing in my body, to be able to figure out what my own needs are, right? So that's been a pattern, I would say, from younger years, to have energy out here a lot, kind of tuning into everybody's needs or feeling into. And so then that's something I've learned recently. So that would be my example, for example. Okay, now we're going to do a breath to activate that for all of us and for Max. Thank you for the opportunity. So every topic somebody brings up is a boost for everyone. So again, we're going to do the Diamond Mudra, and this is boosting self-care with self-validation. Very beautiful. All right, so in mouth medium, in more, and more, and hold. Out mouth, in mouth medium. Out mouth, in nose slow. Out nose, in nose medium. Out nose, in mouth fast. Out mouth, in mouth medium. In more. And even more. Out nose and mouth slow. Out nose and nose medium. Out mouth and nose fast. Out mouth and mouth medium. In more and more and even more. And hold. knowing that we're activating this state, it's actualizing in our reality going forward. Self-care, self-validation, and exhale, mouth. Awesome. Now, drinking all this extra gamma from our hands with an inhale. And exhale. Great. And again, just drop in, tuning into this alchemy. Awesome. So we're just going to do 2 more breath sequences, just one more amplifying one, and then one to integrate our whole experience. And then we can open it up if anybody wants to chat a little bit and so on. So for this one, let's conclude with just whatever you are each feeling right now. So about this activation, about experiences that you've looked at in this last hour and a few minutes, anything that you'd like to also look at regarding Burning Man and this being Burn Week. It could also be, for example, you know, having been to Burning Man or anything to do with the principles that you did or created for someone else that you feel good about, you know, that made a difference in their life, for example. So anything, you know, on this positive, like that would be awesome. And thank you, Max, for sharing. You feel calm purpose. That's amazing. You know, I gotta say, you know, this is how it goes with Gamma. When we can do a session, whether it's a group or an individual, we'll start with something that we're looking at. We go through this journey, many different angles, pieces of the puzzle, and then come to this point of like a 0 point or a balance or a resolution at a new level that feels good. Yeah, calm, purposeful, goodness, you know, well-being. So that's awesome. We're arriving at this point. So with this last breath before the integrating breath, let's have it be about all that, like just looking through the whole activation, all the pieces that we've covered, you know, what's standing out to each of us, plus like how we've shared in a burner way with others that's made a difference for them. So that's a lot of things. So let's just review on all of these personally. And let's feel it in our essence, in our body, in our heart, this positive vibration. Okay, so one more amplification breath. So Diamond Mudra, and here we go. In mouth, in a little more, and more, and hold. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. Out mouth, in nose, slow. Out nose, in nose, medium. Out nose, in mouth, fast. Out mouth, in mouth, medium. In more and more. Out nose and mouth slow. Out nose and nose medium. Out mouth and nose fast. Out mouth in mouth medium. In more. Even more. And even more. And hold. Just feel into all this positive energy and goodness. Tuning into all of our field together. And out mouth. Awesome. Once more, let's make this a toast to everybody. Cheers, happy burn, Multiverse 2020. And let's drink. And exhale. Just dropping in for a bit. All right. So we're just going to do this one short integration breath to complete everything. It's an important breath because we have pretty much activated a whole new blueprint with this process, and now we want it to download into our bodies. So form follows function. We're going to be feeling a shift from doing this process. It is an alchemy, and we've boosted more DMT in our brain. We've shifted some of our wiring. We've boosted our consciousness into gamma. We've connected collectively. So just to recap, we started with a basic breath and just a grounding meditation, and then a personal intention that we'd like to bring into the session. Then we tuned into focusing in on our heart and our love for Burning Man and the 10 principles and how they've impacted us, and maybe tuning into one or a few of them personally with experiences about that. We also did a gamma magics energy technique to focus in on the quantum field of being on the playa, while we also then before that breathed as if we were on the playa with a scene that's coming to us about it. And then just numerous more ways of what an impact has Burning Man had in our life, how we've then made an impact for others by being a burner and with the principles and such. And just acknowledging that by going through this process, we can connect into more of what Burning Man essence is for us and integrate that with us. So sometimes, even though we're missing being on the playa this year, and that's hard for some, maybe, I'm assuming, it's kind of like with a relationship. If there's been a relationship that has completed, an important part of closure is to also integrate the experiences from a gamma perspective. That's important. We can tune into the highlights and then really breathe with them and just store the memories in a new way. And then we feel more complete rather than missing something or regretting something or a sense of loss, perhaps. Like if there's a sense of loss about the playa, ideally now, following this gamma activation, my hope is for all that we are feeling more nourished and enjoying this process, and that we might each then tap into the multiverse online and just continue to do what we can as burners in the world until we meet again, right? So let's integrate all of this and everything else it means individually to each of us with this closing breath. So this one's palms together, and it's just all 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. All right, so in mouth, out mouth. In nose, out mouth. In nose, out nose. In mouth, out nose. In mouth, out mouth. In nose, out mouth. In nose, out nose. In mouth, out nose. Last set. In mouth, out mouth. In nose, out mouth. In nose, out nose. In mouth, out nose. And in mouth, out mouth. Awesome. Again, just taking a few moments of silence. Beautiful. So when you feel ready, just gently coming back. Take your time, but if you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. And I would just say, when you can, drink a bunch of water, maybe some little bit of Himalayan salt or electrolytes, maybe a little sprinkle of Playa dust if you have it. And yes, so much gratitude. Thank you for joining me to do this. I love sharing this work very much, and it's one of the things through our camp. So if you want to visit us next year, stay in touch. Also, my info is in here. If any of you want, I'm so happy to gift you one of my Gamma audios or videos. So you can just send me a little email or a text, and then I'll, send you one of them. And if you have any, other things or feedback over the week and you want to reach out, same thing. Just here, I don't know what's easier for everybody, but here, let me just send you my number again, or an email. Hold on. Because, if anything comes up or questions about how this works or whatever you want to share and talk about Burning Man, I'm here. And yeah, the basic gamma breath, you can use anytime, like literally hundreds of times a day if you want. Like once you have it memorized, or if you have a snapshot of it on your phone or something. For example, if you're feeling triggered or upset or stressed or tired or anything like that, you can use the gamma breath and it'll reorganize your brain waves, boost you into gamma. So it's just a state change within a minute, because that's how long it takes to do. If you're feeling awesome and you want to get an even more boost into gamma from what you're feeling that's awesome, do a gamma breath. So you can use the gamma breath to modulate your life, to give yourself instructions like how do you want to feel. And it's not in a way of controlling, it's more of like an intentional manifesting kind of path kind of way. So I really love that about getting into gamma. It's a nice way of auto processing too. Like you can really manage through your day how you're feeling, and what happens too is that then new perspectives, new insights, new actions or information comes up for you on how to be next by getting into gamma. And the last is that by doing gamma breaths like this, you boost your gamma quotient more and more in your life, in your field. So this reflects in your reality, more harmony, new opportunities and manifestations and the like. And yes, thank you. Some of you are sharing here that, it was much needed, that it was beautiful and you feel boosted and released, and that it was utterly divine, and you can almost smell the playa. Yes, thank you everybody who's for sharing. Yeah, I know. I have a bunch of playa dust around. I didn't think to put it out here to sprinkle it. If we could virtually smell and feel the dust, and that'd be awesome. But We can smell and feel it, right? So again, thank you so, so much. I'm gonna end the recording. If anybody feels to just chat or say hi, we can after this. Let me just end and thank you. Okay. The recording, here we go.